Okay, so me and a pal of mine are about to go backpacking, and it's gonna be a movie.
Look at that. The trees are burned out, but they still have leaves on them because they're meant to survive fires. That's so fucking badass. Like it's designed for an oak savanna. Dude, I don't care how hot she is. If she has a penis, I'm fucking. It's two dicks, dude. I'm not gonna have sex with two dicks. There has to be a vagina somewhere in the mix. I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry. No, she still has. Dude, if you want to win with your gay stuff, you can fucking win. You know what?
Freaking made it, 8 p.m. But we're probably gonna walk some and then camp out.
Do it. It's horizontal, so record it horizontal. I hope it's not upside down. Do I look good? Do I look like a backpacker?
I mean, you look kind of cool, man.
Thank you.
Brian forgot something in the car, and now I'm sitting here in the pitch dark. I have a light. I don't have to be sitting here in the pitch dark. But see, but I don't know if you can tell, but the night sky is gorgeous out here. But there's like running water, and you can hear people having fun in the distance, which is actually kind of eerie when you're in fucking complete darkness like this. All right, so the trail is going to be starting at Tom MacArthur's, and then we go down all the way down to Todd Lake, and then we go up from Todd Lake and follow around Broken Top through here, and we come back through this way, okay? Can't see fucking dick. We're about a mile in, maybe a mile and a half. This shit fucking sucks. How did you catch that guy? What's poppin'? I bet he thinks he's just gonna die here, huh? That's okay. We'll leave you be for now. We're standing on a cliffside overlooking a lake. You can't really tell because it's dark. We've hiked about 3 miles. I don't know if you can see it, but I've got my sleeping bag set up. No tent for me tonight. Got my backpack right there, and I'm just gonna be sleeping under the night sky today. And there's the Northern Star. It's bright as shit. At least I think it's the Northern Star. Could be anything. Not an astronomer. It's gorgeous out here. I can't wait to wake up when it's sunny. All right, it is 6:30 in the morning, and it's a lot prettier. Yeah. Pretty cool back here, too. My life is awesome. All right, I'm making breakfast. That's what that looks like. Sunrise is gorgeous. I want to show you guys this is my pal Brian's tent. I didn't bring a tent because it's for babies. This is my setup right here. I have a tarp on the ground with an inflatable ground mat thingy and a sleeping bag and a pillow. I slept like shit, but you know, that's just bound to happen for the first time you're somewhere ever new. I mean, I always sleep like shit where I'm sleeping somewhere new. Plus, I kept like hearing like rocks crumbling because you can see there's like rocks everywhere, right? And we're obviously on like a cliff surface. It's like actively eroding, right? So I'm like, fuck, I really hope this place is here tomorrow when we wake up. And like, obviously, but I was definitely tweaking out a little bit. It is gorgeous out here. All right, breakfast of champions. I got a dehydrated meal that I forgot to get a utensil for, so I'm eating it using this cool stick I found. And then I got a Coors Light tall boy at 7 in the morning, but you know, can't beat this view. It is 7 in the morning of day 1. I guess I'm counting yesterday as day 0. This is a bit of a test run, so I'm making a lot of mistakes, like forgetting utensils. And I'm also realizing that I brought the wrong charging cord. So for the power brick that I brought, I have a double USB-C cord. So, and in the way that the power cord's programmed, it thinks that my the power cord is getting charged by my phone, which is not good. But look at this. Scary stuff. Okay, so I think a lot of people don't appreciate not only the beauty of kind of a really not desolate mountainscape like this, but we're also obviously at pretty high up elevation. But these biomes are an important ecosystem to the world, you know? You don't think about it, but these roots, these plants, they like break down rocks and provide nutrients for kind of the whole world. And another cool thing, I wonder if you can see it from here. So that's Broken Top Mountain right there. And if you zoom in a crazy, crazy amount, you could obviously see it with your bare eye. But you see these very distinct lines. Oh God. You see those very distinct lines right there? Right there and there and there. That's like millions and millions of years of kind of sediments and rock and shit that have just been eroded over millions and millions of years. But when the tectonic plates kind of slime into each other, right, they create this mountain. And you can see those layers that, you know, tell the story of millions of years of glaciers, ice, snow, wind, whatever it is, right? September 20th. And still snow around. We're obviously on a mountain and stuff. I think that's Mount Bachelor over there, and you can see it has some snow on it too, but still kind of crazy to think about. There hasn't been any rain or anything, or barely any rain for the last like 3-4 months. So, nature's epic. I heard a crazy bird call. You know, it's the strangest thing. It almost feels like you're in a tree graveyard kind of vibe-wise, but all the trees are alive. They're not like dead. Well, some of them probably are. But one I want to point out with these black rocks, I think these are volcanic rocks, basalt and shit. Because there's a lot of volcanoes and shit around us. You know how it is. I'm trying not to record too much to conserve battery life, because I only have like 15% and we still have like 24 hours left. So we'll see how it goes. I'm actually shocked how colorful certain segments of this are. It's not all just kind of beige and rock, you know, green, white, black, red, yellow. Got the whole spectrum up in this hoe. So here you can kind of see that difference in sediment quite a bit better, right? So there's like that red is one period of time, and then above that's another period of time. And depending on how it breaks down, it could be slanted like this, or it could be flat, because it's not like land doesn't just erode like flat and horizontal, like, you know, nature is. Analog, it's not binary. It can, you know, has a lot of room to do stuff. But yeah, it's tight out here. You can see that a lot of the plants out here have these kind of spiky things. I mean, technically they're leaves, but they're not leaves traditionally, because they're trying to maximize surface area. They don't get a lot of nutrients out here. I mean, they do, but like, they don't get, it's very cold. It's very harsh up here. So the nutrients that they do get, they want to absolutely maximize them. Look how red the ground is. All right, so this is the view. Wrong, dude. This is the view. Peep this, dude. You see the lichen on the rock? Breaking it down, giving nutrients to the soil and shit. That's what I'm fucking talking about. Movie. You know, it's possible that this is like moss, not lichen, but they're very similar. All right, I did want to add an addendum just because I want to. Holy fuck, look at this. I gotta fucking climb down that. Moss and lichen are different. They're very similar, but they're different in the sense that moss is a plant and lichen is like a combination of fungus and plant, I think, if memory serves. So while they look kind of similar and they act kind of similarly, they are very different. So that's Broken Top Mountain, which is the loop that we're doing. We're doing Broken Top Loop. I need to be some broke top right now. Jesus.
This is messed up. Oh my god. There's like not even really a trail here. It's just more of like a, oh god, just a suggestion of where to walk. Even then, all the rock is super loose. Gotta be very careful not to kill somebody down there. Not that there anybody is, but peep this. So this is where I came from. This is the view, and this is where I gotta go. Like, that's not reasonable, is that? I barely, look, I mean, I'm not the smallest guy in the world, but fucking fuck. Oh, my sleeping bag's getting caught on stuff. Oh, my body's getting caught on stuff. All right, it actually wasn't that bad. I was being a bit of a baby, but still. Look at the color on the mountain. It almost looks like bruised, you know what I mean? Like there's like this combination of purple and red, and you can really kind of see the stripes, the different layers of sediment there. You can definitely see it over here too. Really nifty. This is dangerous over here. Oh God. Oh, I'm gonna die up here. You know, it's so bizarre. When you're in these desolate, barren kind of places, not barren, but in these places where there aren't a ton of people, when you do see people, it's actually a really sweet treat. Like, usually I'm not the biggest on social interaction, but it's almost like you're joining a club. Like, it's no different than if you went to a wine and sip or something, you know what I mean? Like, you're all there sharing in a common activity, common pastime that you guys enjoy, you know? It's kind of nice. There's a person at the lake. I don't know if you can see him. There they are. Not alone out here, but you're pretty alone out here. So I think this is the highest peak elevation we're doing. Just because we're doing the loop, we're doing like a backpacking loop, right? We're not doing like, we're not summiting anything. All right, it's pretty fucking tight. But one of the problems is that when doing that, right? Oh God. Or one of the problems is, peep this, fucking badass. One of the problems is we accidentally did the loop backwards. So the way the loop is oriented, it starts out pretty gradual, and then at the very end, the last 4 or 5 miles, which is the last 4 or 5 miles that we just did, last 6 miles, 7 miles, it's all elevation. So we started basically doing all of the elevation for the trip, and now we have another 15-20 miles of basically just downhill or flat ground, which I'm really stoked for. I'm also really stoked for this lake. I think it's glacial water. When I tried summiting Mount Hood, there was a sulfur pit next to one of the glacier lakes up there, so I didn't want to deal with it, but in theory there's no sulfur pit out here, so I think that's just going to be the freshest water I've ever fucking had in my entire life. I'm excited about it. All right, remember when I said that I was at the highest point that we were going to make it to? I lied. I mean, we're not that much higher, but definitely a little spookier up here. Little trail is pretty narrow, all things considered. But, you know, I'm fallible. I make mistakes like anyone. It's just that the mistakes you can make up here lead to mild discomfort. It's a little bizarre how like simultaneously dead and vibrant everything is. Does that like translate to the camera or to the phone? Like it's very colorful, but it's only kind of just sheets of color, just like layers of color, rather than just like a mosaic of color. Does that make sense? And, you know, obviously, since we're near a water source, it's a lot greener, right? A bit of a mountain oasis up here. It's very cool. It's a nice change of pace. I'm actually shocked. I don't know if I would say the biomes are changing, but the color scheme is changing in terms of which color is dominant or not. From, you know, from gray to red to green. Certain sections are obviously snowy, so white. Super subtle, but you can see like a very, very, very tiny babbling brook. And that's just from snow melt. And the snow melt's going, and it's going, and it's going, and it's going. And it ends up right there. Beautiful thing, that. Okay. I'm at the water. Oh God, I'm gonna fucking die out here. I'm excited. No filter first, because fuck it. I'll just get malaria or whatever. There's no malaria out here. Get Giardia. It should be super clean. Look, see? It's pretty clear up until you get into the center, just because I think it's super deep. Yeah, it tastes like water. You know, if I had some like Aquafina or Dasani, not because I like those brands, but just that I have something to compare it with. Dude, so we're at the lake, right? We're at the lake, and we just came down from over there, and it's really steep and there's a lot of loose rock. And if it was slightly less athletic and heavier, dude, I would have snapped my knees up there. I slipped so many times. I'm even bleeding a little bit. But that's not even the bad one. There was one, I slipped, and my knee went fucking like sideways like that. That would have been bad. This water, I mean, you can see it's literally carving the mountain out, right? Like, I mean, it's just... I mean, look at this, right? Just barren, just kind of rock. I mean, there's some grass, there's some plant life, but then you go next to the stream, and it's like the Nile, right? You could literally picture the Egyptian people, you know, cultivating the crop, making something out of nothing. Beautiful thing, that. All right, I think this may be my last video. I'm very low on battery, but see, this is moss. You can see how it's very different than lichen, right? It's like awesome. It's a lot more cohesive of a unit. I don't know. But yeah, moss, not lichen. One thing that I've been thinking about that you kind of don't appreciate when you're out here, especially just because it's not like the most floral place in the world, not the most faunal place in the world either, but you have to really appreciate the pollinators that are out here. The insects, the grasshoppers, the moths, the bees, you know what I mean? The stuff that takes pollen from one plant to the other, germinates stuff. They're in a place, oh, there's a monarch butterfly that just flew by. I wish I could show you, but it's too fucking fast. You really got to appreciate what it takes to live out here, you know, because food is not exactly abundant, you know what I mean? Like, look at this, all right? Not exactly farms out here. There's no Chick-fil-A. As we're transitioning closer to sea level, it's becoming progressively more foresty. You can kind of tell. Just snap my ankle a little bit, that's okay. The trees are looking like fuller. You can see how much more forest there is out there. And so I don't necessarily feel bad that my phone's about to die. I mean, I do feel bad, but I'm not gonna see anything, or you're not gonna see anything, we're not gonna see anything that's necessarily too crazy or different from things I plan on doing in the future. The bulk of kind of the new cool stuff we saw, I think. I'd like to hope so. So we'll see what's up. I mean, I'll probably do like a post video edit thing that basically I talk about anything cool that I missed if my phone dies. But I think most of the really cool, fun stuff we passed already, which is good news and bad news. Bittersweet. Phone's still kicking by the grace of God. You can kind of see a continuation of the water coming from the lake, right? Just carving, you know? just slowly making the valleys deeper and the mountains are getting taller, I think, depending on the tectonic plates, you know. So, yeah. I'm glad my phone is still alive for this. I think every time that I say that it's not going to be that bad if my phone dies, it's going to be a lie. All right, we started to hit the kind of transitionary forest area. You can see Mount Bachelor over there in the back. Pretty sure that's Mount Bachelor. It doesn't look too different. I mean, like, in terms of ecosystem, I don't think it's that different in terms of plant life from 3,000 feet of elevation ago. But you can kind of tell it's a lot more vibrant. Stuff's a lot more alive. There's just stuff is closer together. Just generally greener, you know? All right, we just walked away from a ranger. He was a super cool guy. He gave us the business because we don't know where we are. But buy your permits for safety stuff. They need to know who's out here. They need to know wherever you are. Okay, I finally made it home. It's Sunday morning. I bought a crappy phone cable charger for fucking $13.74. I think the last thing I recorded was that Ranger stuff, right? There was so much cool stuff. I wish my phone didn't die. But the Ranger was really nice. I think my phone died at about 8 miles in. We had like 16 miles left. And it was incredible. I mean, the mountains were awesome to look at. And there were like meadows that had like tornadoes of butterflies, and there was this lake that was surrounded by like a golden field of wheat. And when you'd walk through like the field, there'd be grasshoppers like jumping with you. It felt like you were swimming with dolphins, but like on land. It was really cool. But yeah, thanks for watching. Oh, but now the most important part. I have not gone to the bathroom in fucking like 2 days. So we're going to figure out what the before and after is. All right, 2:43 is the before. Oh, wow. I tried to show it. All right, 2:43 was the wait before, and the after is error. Fuck. 2:41. So 2 pounds of poop